What's up, witches? Welcome back to my channel. It's the Lunar Priest, aka Cheyenne, yours truly, your reader for who is your soulmate? What are they like? We're gonna get dreamy today, and I have 5 different piles, so take a look at them. I'll put the photo up on the screen, and whichever one calls to you first, I highly recommend going with that one. And then scroll down to the description box so that you can find the timestamp that will, once you click on it, take you to your reading all about your soulmate. But before you do, make sure that you've subscribed to my channel, like this video, and after you watch it, leave a comment letting me know what you thought about this reading. So without further ado, we'll hop right in. What's up, pile 1? Here we are at your soulmate reading. So I want to give a little disclaimer that everything that you hear in this reading is completely just for your use, your benefit. Nothing is meant to do anything but provide clarity and guidance, maybe a little entertainment, but I haven't seen these cards yet, so we'll be seeing them together for the first time, though I did pre-pick them and put them into a pile because I kind of have like a flow to the reading. So we're gonna hop right in. The first thing I like to do is look at the crystal corresponding to your pile, and you have a Lemurian quartz with this really cool hieroglyphic etching that naturally occurs in it. I always associate this to hieroglyphics, and now that I'm looking at it, I see a rural sunset. I see a few different places, I'm seeing Yosemite, I'm seeing Japan, I see a big ocean, I see Arizona, a beautiful river. I definitely think that the places you go together, or the place that you meet this person, or they have some sort of love for nature, camping, hiking, travel, sunset. They could be a more active, outdoorsy type of person, and there could be almost a beyond romantic connection. I almost feel like you guys could be friends now or have been friends for a long time. It feels familial, you guys are already carrying that family energy outside of and not family as in you guys are related, but there's something so familiar about them. And beyond your romantic life with your soulmate, there is a foreverhood and a bond that is so simple and sweet. So let's just keep going. And also the kids started playing outside, and I feel like that could be a sign that you already know this person, you have kids with them, or you're going to have kids with this soulmate of yours. So opening up with your first tarot card, we're using I believe it's called the Wanderer's Tarot, the Wandering Star Tarot. Opening up with the Page of Wands, really good little symbol with what we were just talking about, which is exploring new territories together. They could kind of get you out of your comfort zone. On this card, it even says good news, communication, and we have a kind of flamboyant young person here with a feather on their hat. I'm getting the feeling that this person or you could writing. Also with the communication here, I feel their Mercury sign could be a fire sign, or yours could be a fire sign, or they might be a Gemini or Virgo, as Mercury rules both of those. Let's just keep going. Last thing. The boots and the belt and the buttons are standing out. This person has done a lot of work on themselves, and I think that you are following close behind. There's a sense of teaching each other things and opening up the horizons for each other. So I have this Isis Oracle card that's going to represent you here. We have the wings of Isis uniting with the angelic self. So when you guys come together, whether you're already together or you have been or you're going to meet each other, the time of your personal transformation is very much after you have overcome a time of turbulence, and facing and accepting and beginning to take action on some of the more shadowy parts of your life. So working through triggers and trauma and experiences and really owning up to your part, and therefore taking that territory as a space for you to have responsibility in tending to yourself. So there's a lot of inner work and higher wisdom at play in your life, and that's necessary for this partnership to happen. Then we have I know I'm so bad about this, it's an Alana Fairchild deck. It's like the Earth Keepers or something deck. And representing them, we have Palik Mana, Medicine of the Butterfly, Kachina, number 6. And 6, I talked about Virgo earlier. Virgo could be an important sign in this person's chart because the 6th house is associated to Virgo. So the two of you together, I think it's interesting that we have the butterfly and the wings of Isis. There's an ascension happening for the two of you guys. I'm also seeing like eye to eye. There's no like hierarchy, though your wisdom paths could be kind of uniting in a way that teaches both of you so much stuff, and there's so much happening in your lives when you're together. Like it's so like fast paced, but you guys ground each other when you're together. Also with all the air, like the wings, air signs could be kind of prevalent here. And also like air sign season, so Aquarius season, Gemini season, and Libra season could all be like prominent timing to this relationship. I do feel like this relationship lasts a long time, and there could be times where one of you travels, or you have the freedom to do what you want in this relationship. Like you do a lot of things together, but there could be like significant periods where it's okay to like kind of go off and do your own thing and trust that like homestead will be taken care of together. And I think you guys are going to like purchase houses or a house. You're going to embark on a lot of different styles of journeys together, both business and romantic. So moving on, the time of your lives right now, like what are the stages of these people that we're talking about? We're using the Moonology Manifestation deck. For you, we have the first quarter moon in Aquarius, trust the universe. So maybe you're wondering about the relationship you're currently in, or you've been single for some time and you're like, I'm ready. Trust in the universe is like, it's coming. Stay rooted. Don't get off track. There could be a series of tests and people and habits coming your way where it's like, are you ready? Don't fall into old patterns, old relationships. Like if you've moved on from a person, we are not talking about this person that you've already moved on from. That's 100% in this pile, I can feel. But if you're like, I think I know who it is, or I think I feel them getting closer, that's more like the medicine of this reading is like, trust the timing of the unfolding of this connection. It's either existent, and there have been times where maybe you do spend time apart, or maybe there's a lot of work, or there's a lot of things that take you out of that romantic feeling, and it's like, just trust that this is in accordance. And then if you don't have this person in your life, I'm getting like, make sure not to revert back to old relationships and habits and like things that you used to do that kept you kind of stuck in like a juvenile ability to manifest. Like if you're focusing all your energy on people who don't really provide a lot in your life and how to like restore things, that's not really it for you right now. Like right now it's about like soaring to new levels, meeting new people, getting out there, focusing on money and career and productivity, and not so much about like trying to have a good time or party or like dig up old things from the past. Now for them, they have first quarter moon in Gemini. So you both have a first quarter moon in an air sign. Really interesting. All the air symbology coming up. So I won't have to say it. I know I don't have to say it again, but it's like air signs could be relevant. First quarter moon in Gemini, speak your world into being. They are manifesting you too. I kind of get the feeling that if you're not with this person, oh my gosh, there's butterflies on this card too. If you're not with this person and you have your eye on someone and they're like freshly out of a relationship, or they have someone like stirring in their world, you are number one choice. And they're figuring that out. That's for a select few of you. Don't go home wrecking. It'll happen in its own timing if it's meant to. But, you know, your field has like lavender and you're alone and you're dancing. And their field, they also have lavender and they're with another person and there's butterflies. I'm taking this in another way too, where they already have their eye on you and are manifesting and are like, it could be like the ball's in your court. And maybe the ball's in your court energetically. Like if you don't know who this person is, like stay on track the next like 2-3 weeks. Stay on track for a while. Stay on track. Don't display signs of being the partner that you don't want to be. You know, like this person is attracted to loyalty, honesty, clean mind and body, like good hygiene, and showing initiative on one's own life. So if you're like messing around and getting caught up in like dumb stuff, it's going to deter them because they're very patient people. And it's okay to be excited about this person once they do come around. Like show your excitement. They like you. Like they're not like boring or like rude or judgy at all. They just have a really good grip on what they want and who they are, and are super sensitive. Like I'm getting like author, poet energy, or like just really analytical with their emotions and the exterior world. So what's the vibes of this coming together? We have the White Light Oracle by Alana Fairchild, and we have number 13, Bastet of 174 hertz. Sometimes I yawn during readings, it's a thing. Okay. Hot, because did I say Egypt when I was looking at the Lemurian quartz? This Lemurian quartz always reminds me of like hieroglyphics and Egypt, and Bastet is like strength, warrior vibe, goddess, feline energy. And I think this is a confirmation of like the intense, obvious, oh my gosh, what is that word? Potential of this connection. Like it's so obvious when you're together, like what you can do in the world together. It booms ideas, and it's like I conquer. There's an I conquer everything energy. Like what we take on, we take it on. And that's because we're not like pulling on the same rope. Like we're both like double fisting like the ladder of success. So there's not a lot of like drama in this relationship. There's a lot of like, I'm doing this, you're doing that. When we meet up, we celebrate kind of energy a lot of the time. And then, you know, when it gets distant, there's no sweat and it comes back together, like very tantric, good energy. And when you debate, it's like fun. There's like a fun ability to debate here. Okay, and not to keep dwelling too much, we'll keep moving on. And also card number 13 is associated to the Death card in tarot, associated to Scorpio. And Scorpio and the Death card is so goddess energy. It's so available to destroy and create. There's no hiding, right? There's a complete truth, honest vibe about that energy of like, I know myself. Like, I know the depth and the shallow end of my spirit and how it's taking on the times. And when it shows up, there's a fearlessness because it's like so in tune with the universe and so raw and real. So this relationship isn't like, oh, it's all good and like fake positivity or made up like love and light. No, it's like very grounded, earthy energy that's like, because I'm so realistic and authentic, I can take on matters with a realistic point of view. Like my head's not in the clouds. I'm willing to take action and do work. It's not just like my intention. It's like I'm showing up actively, and both of you respect each other for that capability. Then we have 3 more tarot cards representing the active, movement of this relationship. We have 4 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, and Death. And I just brought up the Death card. And I think that, solidifies some of that energy. So with the Death card showing up, the words on this deck that it has is transformation, new beginnings, endings, change. Transformation, begin again, change, new beginnings. Like, it's showing that you guys last through cycles, and that there's such a bond that like marriage and lasting your whole lifetime is very possible for this relationship. Then in the 9 of Pentacles, the words are comfort, accomplishment, prosperity, and stability. 9 of Pentacles, did I bring up, 6, when I brought up the number 6, 6th house, Virgo energy. We have another Virgo and Venus energy because the 9 of Pentacles is ruled by Virgo. So when the 9 of Pentacles does show up, it's like the harvest is here. We've waited, we've worked, and now we get to apply all of our knowledge, our skill, our talent, our grace, our beauty, our ideas to reality. It's like the home is good, the appliances are working because we fixed them all. There's a fresh paint or a fresh layer of paint on the walls. We've laid the garden. We're eating from the garden. We eat. Like, everything is mobile and moving and paying off. Like, this relationship provides. So children, family, purchases, it's because of the hard work and the grounded energy that you two have and synergy that provides so much like gratitude for you in this relationship. And we also have the 4 of Cups, and the 4 of Cups is Moon in Cancer, a very deep feminine ability to understand and perceive on a level that is far beyond reality. So when something's wrong, if there's like, or something's right, you can feel it before it even happens. Like, you just know when this person's calling. You know what this person needs a lot of the time. Like, if they are unwell in some way, you know kind of the remedy. There's a maternal need for the both of you. Like, both of you kind of mother and father and parent each other at times, where there's like such an intense psychic connection here. And that energy needs a lot of circulation and a lot of things to do in its waking realm because it's so dreamy and intense. And the words are yearning, disillusion, and boredom. Because if you just sit in the trenches of your emotions, nothing can ever happen. And like, all the psychic knowledge in the world can do nothing without movement. And the 4 of Cups can represent like a detoxification, if you will, because this relationship there cannot be like both of you could have recovered also from some sort of like addiction or abuse. Like, there's something about the understanding of like, we can't go into the dark here. And the dark as in like habits and reactions that don't serve us anymore. Very healthy, like a lot of health and like real raw love and passion. And it's definitely hot too. There's like some hot freaky stuff going on too, because with all that 13 and the death, it's like, girl. Okay, so then we have I'm just checking the time when I look up, sorry about that, because my camera will close itself. Okay, so we have the Alchemy deck by Kim Krans, and I have one that represents you, Resin, one that represents them, Conjunction, and one that represents the interconnectedness of all of it, Contra Naturam, against nature. Okay, so if there's one thing I'm positive of, you guys are like going to like have something to do with like tending land or property or having a house. Like there's something to do with structures here in the relationship, or buying a house is super important, and there's a lot of nature around the house. Because when I see this black box, and the black cube also represents like the cube of consciousness that one sees when it like has an ego death and sees from a new perspective against nature. The idea here is that it's like it takes effort to work past the things that we're handed. So there can be times where you're like, I don't feel like I'm living up to my role here. And they could feel that way too. And it's like, but this is so perfect. There could be this illusion that things are so meant to be and united and perfect in this relationship that you want to like conjunction and resin want to like stay in that point, that like freeze that moment. And it's like nature's moving. So don't try to stop, because the next phase of evolution is going to be good as well. Like the fear of loss could be kind of intense sometimes for you guys. And that could be because you're making like bigger financial purchases, or you're working at a level that you maybe don't believe you can continue operating at, and then therefore lose the supply of income, or the, you know, whatever is the output, the product of all your work is. You're like, can I do this long term? Can I make this last? God, universe is saying really strongly, like, this is going to withstand everything. It's a very intense bond. And as long as you don't go against the flow or try to grip onto things or try to escape, you'll find that things move great, and you get to see that happening and unfolding and manifesting in real time. Okay, to close your reading, I have 2 astrology cards and a sacred geometry card. We have a card number 38, Strength. So that kind of goes along with that. Like, you know, there's a lot of heavy lifting to do in this world when you want to make your dreams come true and get this person in your life in the first place. Keep going. Celebrate. And our 3 astrology cards to close it all out is Gemini, I think. We had Gemini before too. Okay, Gemini, Black Moon, Lilith, Mystery, and Void, of course, Moon, Missing. Some of you are like, when is this person coming into my life? When do I get to see the results? It's coming. Like, and we have, in Black Moon, Lilith, Mystery is card number 12. And I was talking about the cube of consciousness associated with the Hanged One in the tarot, also card number 12. There is illusion and mystery and spirituality at hand in your life. Things are not going to always be predictable. The universe is much more creative than our manifestations, if you will. Things are always going to have an edge and a beauty and a shadow. And exploring that in-between moment is what makes the full moment so satisfying. And whatever challenges that come along in those times might drive you nuts, because Gemini's like, I think, like, I'm processing. The processing is a part of the understanding and the receiving of this relationship. So there could be times where you're not on the same page, but leaving room to communicate will give you everything that you need. So with that, thanks for tuning in, and until next time, I'll see ya. Bye. What's up, pile number 2? Thanks so much for tuning into this reading. Let me go ahead and silence my phone, girl. Okay, so these cards I pre-selected, but I haven't seen them yet. I just shuffled and got your pile together. So we'll be seeing them together for our first time. And the reading kind of flows in a way. We have an assortment of cards here. And we're going to be talking about your soulmate. So the first thing that I like to do is look at the crystal associated with your deck. We have a smoky quartz. This energy is super protected. Magnetic forces draw you guys together. It's like, I have an obsession with this person, and I'm like thinking of the meme, like, me obsessed with you? Why, yes. Like, it's very... there's a lot of romance. So to open up your reading with the Wandering Star Tarot, which I think it's called, is it Wandering Star? Yep, Wandering Star Tarot. We have the Tower, card number 16, very on point with that intensity. The eye is really standing out to me. When this relationship comes together, and there may be some turbulence, if you will. Big changes are erupting in each other's lives. There may be some hardship to work through along the way. It's magnetic forces draw you together for sure. Okay? Okay. So I have one card to represent you from the Isis Oracle, Scales of Balance, Ancient Tantra of the Soul. And one to represent them from the, I think it's like the Earth Warriors or something by Alana Fairchild. 44, White Buffalo Woman, Hopeful Heart, See Her Sign. I think that this person really calls you into their life, whether they know it or not. They are definitely like, I get a feeling that they're more along the, you're a very enlightened spiritual person. You have a lot of magnetic energy and you tend to get what you want. But they are more able to keep a center of who they are, and they don't fluctuate as much. Meaning that I get the feeling you will have to undergo a series of initiation to get yourself in a place of centeredness to make this thing happen. They're kind of sitting and waiting, meditating, while you are doing a balancing act on the intensity of your soul and your circumstance. You may have a more intense way of seeing the world, and maybe a little bit more depth when it comes to the level of like pain you've experienced as well. And that means you have to do a little bit extra work to get to that level that they're on, and to stay in the coherence and the synergy of this relationship. Now, where are these two people at in their lives now? We have for you, New Moon in Cancer, relax. And that card is so like, calm, releasing. You know, when this relationship comes together, you could have gone through kind of a rocky breakup, or something in your life kind of like forced you into sensitivity and into release and into tearing down the walls, and possibly like sobriety. There could be like, I'm done with the chaos that I've created. And there's a sense of taking responsibility for your healing in all of that. And so there could be some work to go through before you're ready for this relationship. And now for them, they have first quarter moon in Pisces. Honor your feelings. They've been through it. Like, they understand the depths of things. They just don't maybe see the need to embody the pain that they've experienced. You're kind of more of a teacher type, in the sense that you teach by example. They process, and they may be verbally able to tell you what's going on, or to tell the world what's going on, but they're much more inflective. Like, they look inside and sit and meditate. Like, in both of these cards, there's a meditating figure. So they might not let the world know as much as you do what's happening, but they're there, they're fully present, maybe more present than you're able to be because you're doing so much. Where they sit and process and let the universe kind of pull what it needs to pull and give what it needs to give. You have a little bit more fire. Both having water signs, these people could be water signs, or water signs could be prevalent in the chart. Though you may be more flighty and have more air, and they may have more earth. So the energy when they come together. Card number 18, Tantra of 639 Hertz. Okay, hot. Very deep, flowy connection. The depths, like, I'm seeing the deepest part of the ocean still like interacting and intermingling in starfish and little like astral planes igniting between the two of you. When you have a kid, or if you have a kid, this kid is like star child, really important. I'm getting performer energy. Like, you usher in a very important spirit to the collective, and that magnetism between the two of you is a tantric journey. And creating a family is a tantric journey and very energetic. Visions might come to you when you're interacting with this person, and same with them. Like, there's just something like twilight struck about this relationship. And I do see like someone having darker hair. I mean, both of you could have darker hair, but I see someone like having darker hair in this relationship. We talked about the water signs. Card number 18 is also associated with the moon in the tarot, which that card in the tarot is ruled by Pisces, and we had another Pisces here. So Pisces could be a significant sign in one or both of the people's charts. Moving into the tarot of what this relationship looks like as it's moving along, we have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is Mercury in Sagittarius, so one or both of you could have that placement. The words on the card is good news, travel. And so traveling could be like a theme in this relationship. Also, things could move quickly. Like when a manifestation is brewing in the one or both of you, it's like it happens. Like it always happens. And there could be unconventional ways of maintaining your lifestyles as well with the Eight of Wands. We also have the Three of Cups, and the words here are joy, abundance, friends, and family. You both might have, again, like untraditional things about your family or about you or about the way you conduct yourself in community. And that helps both of you to understand, like you both seek broader horizons and are kind of black sheep in society. And the community that you guys create is really beautiful as well. And we also have the Five of Swords with upheaval, conflict, loss. When the Five of Swords is Venus in Aquarius, so that could be a prevalent sign here. When Venus in Aquarius comes up, or the Five of Swords comes up, there could be times in this relationship where like feud and battle is afoot. So there could be, you know, someone in one person's group or the other person's group, or like sometimes there is conflicting energy where there's like butting of heads and it seems like someone's got to win or lose. Debates could get kind of heated. There's an energy of like, I'm right, you're wrong. So that doesn't have to be between the two of you. It could be in the community where like you might bump heads with their friend, or they bump heads with your sister, or, you know, someone irritates you. And between the two of you, there could be times where you really question the pros and the cons of this relationship. Like there can be turbulence where one of you is so, and one of you so like, you know, so there could be this like, calm down, or like, and that's for either of you, like getting spacey and watery and flighty could like bounce back and forth between the two of you in different ways. And so at times you're like, is this gonna work, like if this is the energy? So just, you know, being honest here, that energy is also there. But I do think that like that's why it's so magnetic, because when this relationship's supposed to last, the intensity brings you back. It's like, well, I've never felt this way before. And as long as there's, obviously, as long as there's no, like, trauma being created or harm or, like, that, those are red flags. Like, don't stick around for that, obviously. But just because you get uncomfortable in your character development doesn't mean that, like, this is not the one. Moving on to the Kim Kranz Alchemy deck, we have one for you, Coagulation, one for them, Pluto, and one for the energy between the two of you, Antimony. So you are a nester. There's a need to get a home here. There's a need to have a sense of loyalty and predictability. And they are not really familiar with that being their main objective. They are more so in this experience, like being on Earth for them is a like very serious experience, so they want to do it all the way. And you, I think, can resonate with that, because you're like, I can do it all the way too, but it's a little bit different for them. We have a very like, literally like very maternal energy that is like, knows the depths of the feminine experience and like takes a lot of time to learn what they need to learn and cares immensely. And then we have like a traveler of time and space who's very realistic, logical, analytical, and willing to evolve at any cost. Both intense energies, and when put together, it's like that stereotypical archetypal, like sturdy, caring individuals, but sometimes spirit calls to go out of the comfort zone, and that can create discomfort in this relationship. Antimony, I want to quickly grab the guidebook and see what Kim Kranz says about antimony, because I mean, the wolf on it makes me think, you know, that there's like a very intense physical attraction, but I also just am curious as to like, just to intuitively read it very quick. XXVII, here we go. Wildness, fierceness, hunger. Read Woman Who Run with Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes to go deeper. Okay, so yeah, I think that you guys facilitate like ritual often too. Like, you guys could be some sort of teachers or facilitators, or you're interested in creating a space that's like that. Like, because you're both so intense in your own right, it's like only natural that the world kind of sees this. And I think that's why maybe like when I was seeing your child or whatever, there's some level of like the public eye here, because there's a fierceness and a realness between the two of you. And it's like kind of addicting for other people to watch how this story unfolds. They're like, okay, we have our, it's like if you had two different TV shows and your two favorite characters came out and you were like, what if they were together? And then they were together. Like, you'd be like, how does this unfold? Because there's gonna be crazy times. Like, that's kind of like this relationship. Like, the feats of it are so good, and then like the high points are so high, and there's so much like happening, and there's so much productivity and hotness and beauty and triumph. And then there's also like extreme questioning of like, this is so wild that what does God universe really, you know, what's the story here? So that's a vibe. And to close out the reading, I have 3 astrology cards to give us more insight on the vibes and on the relationship itself, possibly the astrology signs of the both of you. So if any of these stand out, this could be a significant placement for the 1 or 2 of you. We have Capricorn. I use card number 22, and then we have the 1st house associated to Aries, the body, and we also have the 9th house associated to Sagittarius, faith. Okay, so yeah, climbing in this world is important. Like, both of you could be on a mission in life to be something or create something, and the ego, the identity, the willingness to go after is very intense. So that's why the manifestations happen so good here. And then the 9th house with faith solidifies more of that travel, expansion, spirituality, exploring other religions, languages. You know, like, you could both be from different backgrounds and learn a lot because of each other about different cultures and walks of life and faith and culture and things like that. And then to close the reading, I have 1 sacred geometry card from the Lan Oracle deck, and we have card number 27, the number of years for a Saturn orbit. So this could come also at a time, you know, when you're like 27, or when you're in a Saturn transit, or when you're facing a lot of harsh lessons in general. And it's intuition. The energy of intuition supports our ability to conceive the subtle language of the realms beyond 3-dimensional reality. And I think that goes back to this magnetic force, like kind of holding and gluing and constantly bringing you back like magnets together. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And until next time, I'll see ya. Bye. What's up, pile 3? Okay, we have your cards all here. I shuffled and created the pile, but but it'll be my first time seeing these cards alongside you. I always like to start the reading by looking at the crystal associated with your pile, and here we have a flower agate. So I do get the feeling that, you know, there are definitely children involved. Gardening could be a thing. Self-care and health also come up here. And really talking to the guides and having a lot of like good hygiene with your subtle body energy, like really making sure you're in a good place in life. And that could be present right now for you. We also have one tarot card just to open up the reading. The Star, card number 17. And that goes very well with the energy I was kind of picking up on with the crystal, because the Star card, you know, I like to think about a butterfly in a cocoon, like the cocoon phase. It's been a caterpillar all of its life. And then it forms this shell around it, and it's dark and slimy, and it has no idea what's on the other side. And then bam, it's something more beautiful and capable than it's ever been, and it has a whole new life. So this relationship could provide a whole new life. And I get the feeling that, you know, like, my intuition tells me to tell you that sometimes you have to start living that life before you can get the blessings of that life, which could be this soulmate relationship. The Star is also ruled by Aquarius, and the words on the card are guiding light, inspiration, faith, hope, miracles, infinite energy. Okay, let's keep going. I have an Isis Oracle card that represents you, and we have life restored. Like, come on. Priestess of the Phoenix, literally Phoenix rising out of ashes. Like, you've been through some stuff, okay? And you have healing that is ahead of you. Enough said. This relationship is a part of that healing. For them, we have card number 11, and this is from the Earth Warriors deck. Ayana Vision, Way of the Divine Feminine revealed. This person is a soft and graceful person. They have a lot of like care and love and wisdom, and there could be something so grounded yet so otherworldly about them, like sparkly eyes, possibly curly hair, a sweet soul that isn't interested in any games. And you might come from a past that is super different than the future that this person kind of holds. And I get that, you know, they teach you a lot about yourself because they hold such a calm space sometimes where you're like left with your chaos. And the universe is kind of getting you ready for that, and continues to get you ready throughout the relationship, whether they're in your life or not. It definitely brings a lot of change in you because you're forced to abandon old coping skills and things that no longer serve you and be more of an independent being, because they know that you don't need anything or need anyone. They see you as a very powerful person, and they want you to trust that about yourself. And that's really beautiful. And that could piss you off at times. You're like, okay, but I just want you to do this for me. And they're like, maybe not available, because their care may come off sometimes as like, but why don't you want to do every waking thing with me? Or, you know, sometimes you're like expecting them to be more clingy, and then they're not, and you realize that it's still you in the world. And like, just because there's such an intense connection doesn't mean there's not going to be solo times, and that can really like not sit with you well at first, but you really learn that that's a blessing in the long run. So where are these two people at in your life now? We're using the Moonology Oracle, and we have full moon in Sagittarius. See the bigger picture for you. And for them, we have last quarter moon in Leo. Lighten up. If this is an existing relationship, there could be this thing of like, you're really wanting to do things right now, and they're not so sure. They're more calculated, where you might be a little bit more trusting in the universe at times, and you might see things like, literally you see the bigger picture, whereas they're kind of like, they're still learning that level of like spiritual confidence, if you will, in that way. Like, they have confidence in themselves and being independent, and that means not like risking themselves. So even in the connection, in the part of coming together, you know this is the one, or this is them. And they need some time to experience that before they believe it. They're not so quick to just like lay themselves on the line. And that's because their experience in the world is different from yours. You're maybe more used to having a survival mechanism at hand, and they're more calculated, and they are not on anybody's time but their own. So coming together, what is the like initial vibes of coming together? We're using the White Light Oracle. We have 35, a Pearl of Sorrow. Wow, okay. Let me get the guidebook because I want to see what Alana Fairchild has to say about the Pearl of Sorrow. Number 35. How am I doing on time? Great. Perfect. Here we go. From a deeply pained place of confusion, some souls cry out in anger toward the divine, wondering why there is disease and suffering and cruelty. We need to understand the difference between taking an ego-created situation and working with it so it can become divine, and believing the ego-created situation was divine to begin with. Spirit, I'm going to actually like jump around a little bit because taking responsibility for your experience empowers you. What? Whoa. You will rise up in full connection to your spirit and access a wealth of divine treasure. Have courage and commitment to your awakening. You are a precious being and go far on the spiritual path in this life. Sharo is a Tibetan word meaning to arise and manifest and shine with radiant spiritual light. It's the outcome of sacred alchemy. Okay, this just goes perfectly in unison with all of that. Like, the level of spiritual work that happens on a day-to-day basis is huge in this relationship, because it's like, it's not even like trying, and it's not intentional always. It's like truly getting to the core of things so that we can make this magnetic relationship work. Like, there's a lot of hotness between the two of you at times, and it's so magnetic that it really propels you to be like, what's causing the issues? Like, when there's an issue that arises, you're like, I know this isn't really like from the here and now, this is from the past. So this inspires you to dive deep and be like, where is this coming from? And the same happens to them. I think yours is just a little bit more loud than theirs, and they don't talk about it as much. And you're opening them up to feeling on that level, like not to just sit in the old stagnant wisdom that they have, but to get out and be rejuvenated and see the world in this really fresh light. Whereas they're getting you into that center a little bit more. I have 3 tarot cards that represent the movement and the flow of this relationship. What are the present pieces that kind of sit the themes in this relationship? We have the Creator. Oh my gosh. Weird. It doesn't have like a number. But I'm guessing that this is either card 0, the Fool, or it's, no, let's say 21. Interesting. Okay. I love it though, because this lady is like super astral. She's wearing robes. She's got a cat. There's a rainbow. There's lightning in the background. Like, you guys might visit some pretty intense, cool spiritual places together. And then we also have the Queen of Cups, bringing in so much emotion, so much, like, you guys have a lot of feelings. Both of you have a lot of feelings. There's a lot of like understanding between the two of you, and deep talks and sharing, and what you want to do in this world is something you're capable of. But along the way is so much that, like with the 4 of Swords, there's a lot of time for the quietness of life and the rest and the recovery. Like, there's a lot of work at first to do on the inside, and then you move into the outer realms and are more capable than ever to work on what you want to work on with your dreams. Like, this relationship is such a foundation for the two of you, and it kind of gives you this like solid ground to be like, well, what else do I want to do? And you're inspiring each other a lot. And less needs to be said, because not as in you guys don't need to talk as much. It's like, you just get it with each other, and you don't have to really tell each other what's going on always. And just the feeling and the presence and the sitting with it can be much more connective for the two of you, and just coexisting, cohabitating, watching each other. The subtleness of the connection is very important here. Okay, moving on, the alchemy that arises between the two of you. I have one card for you. Chaos. I love that. We're using the alchemy deck by Kim Krans. One card for between the two of you, the moon. And then one card for them, breath. Okay, the moon is ruled by Pisces in the tarot, but associated to Cancer in astrology. So again, that solidifies that Queen of Cups. One or both of you could be psychic. There's a lot of spirituality. Like maybe you guys want to do something in the spiritual zone and do healing work as well, because you have a checkered background. Like you have been through a lot, and using that knowledge is going to be important, and this relationship kind of gives you a teaching grounds to learn where that knowledge is needed in the world, so that people who have undergone similar things as you can still coexist with people who maybe haven't gone through what they've gone through. And this person brings a lot of that motion into your life that propels you forward. They are more able to like quickly adapt and digest, whereas it may take you some time because it stirs up a lot within you, and being around them kind of, again, it forces almost your need to be like, where is this coming from? How can I work on myself? Over and over, we're seeing that. They could also be have more air in their chart and more earth, and you could have more fire, water. Well, you could have a lot of water too. But with the moon, like this relationship goes through a lot of cycles. You'll see many phases together. Like you'll see each other transform in unfounded ways. And then I have some astrology cards to give us some signs that could be relevant to you guys coming together. Like let's say there's Gemini in here. Gemini season could be relevant to you coming together. Or it could be a prominent placement in one or both of your charts, okay? We're using the Black Moon Astrology deck. We have Part of Fortune, increase. Venus, love, and Earth, stability. So we didn't have any like sign come out, which is open-ended. But with Venus, you know, Libra could be a thing. And with the Earth element, obviously any Earth signs, so Taurus, Capricorn, and oh my God, Virgo. Could be relevant. So I do think that buying like a home or a house is very relevant to that. Like that really sets a new tone for this. You guys see each other in a lot of different parts of your life, like really involved in work, really involved in home, possibly school. But like this relationship is something in your life that will last and stand through all those times. And the amount of success is like pretty much up to you. Like you can have as much success in your life as you want, because there's such a solid ground beneath you with this person that it gives you the energy to go out and like expand and explore, because you feel so safe. And it's all about coming home at the end of the day for you. Okay, and then lastly, to close your reading, we have 14, connection. Yay! I'm like, yeah. This is from the Lawn Sacred Geometry deck, and it says the frequency of connection supports our ability to find alignment and resonate with others, with things and ideas. Beautiful. And 14 is the card of temperance or personal alchemy, divine connection, the angelic realm, and sobriety in the tarot. So yeah, putting your best foot forward. Like this person, if you don't know them yet, or if you do know them and they're in your peripheral, like you might be like, they're kind of like so zen and they really have it all together. And they may kind of hide at first how infatuated they actually are with you, and you come to find out and you're like, you were hiding how much you liked me. And yeah, the magnetism is very sweet and intense and subtle in a way here, but it's so existent and so grounded and so long lasting. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye. What's up, pile number 4? Welcome to your reading. I have all of your cards here that I put into a pile. They're from various oracle decks, and they kind of flow in a storyline that we'll follow. I haven't seen any of them yet. I just shuffled and put them in here, so we'll be seeing them together for our first time. But to start your reading, I always like to look at the crystal associated with your deck, and you have this fierce, otherworldly, alien piece of malachite. And I've always thought of this one as very grounding, very protective, very centering, bringing you back to inspiration. So there could be a lot of artist energy in this deck. Definitely here to create. You guys are here to create, and in this way of creating, I think that family life will be very prevalent in this soulmate relationship. So starting a family eventually will propel you onto a whole new trajectory in the relationship, and I think this one starts pretty young. I get the feeling that some of the people in this reading have known each other from a young time, or they have a history that's pretty expansive together, or this comes later in life and it brings about so much freshness and just a new outlook on life. But we'll go ahead and hop into the reading to get a little bit of clarity on all this stuff. So starting out with the Wandering Star Tarot, we have our first card, just to open it up, Temperance, number 14, associated with Sagittarius. The words on this card are guidance, healing, moderation, and balance. Now, Temperance is associated to personal alchemy, tantric energy, connecting on a soul level with another person, especially in the bedroom, and also of sobriety, and like it says, moderation, like getting to know the habits that we have in life that are not sobering, you know, like things that take us out of the moment, whether it's spending money or engaging in chaotic relationships or whatever it is, like whatever brings about the response or the reaction rather than the response in us. So when this relationship starts, those could be themes in your life of what you're navigating or what they're navigating. I'm gonna keep going because I do get the feeling that, you know, they have an edge of chaos about them. They could be kind of an unruly or untraditional person, and this could throw you off at times. And I also get the feeling that you're the same way, just maybe in a different way. Staying out of trouble in this relationship is important because as fun as it is, as beautiful, as charming as it is, you don't want to get on the wrong path together, if you know what I mean. Okay? So I have one card representing you from the Isis Oracle deck. We have Magic and Ritual, Crafting the Sacred Practice. And then I have one for them from the Earth Warriors deck by Alana Fairchild. And it's number 35, Mama Kila, Mandala of the Moon. I love this because in both they have a circle behind them and their arms are like outspread. So both of you are worldly type of people. You guys could come from different backgrounds and share the wisdom you've learned along the way. You might be more, I don't know, there's a femininity honestly about both of you, like a respect and an honoring of the wisdom that comes before, and like a safe space that both of you hold in your communities. You both have leadership energy, and you might be more intuitive where they are more action oriented, and that can be hard at times because I think that they see what's happening and they love unconditionally and they are willing to take action, but they might not pick up on such subtlety that you just naturally can pick up on and carry. I also get a feeling that, you know, there's something very beautiful about one or both of you. Like longer hair could be kind of a thing. Like both of you are kind of well-known types of archetypes, you know, in your communities. So where are the two of you at in your lives now? We're using the Moonology cards. Oh, these look very similar. Okay, you have last quarter moon in Virgo, attend to the details. And they have last quarter moon in Cancer, take a breather. So right now in your life, you feel like you need to get the pace moving. You need to get on the ball. Like you have dreams, things you want to execute. And they've worked hard and they just aren't lining up in that time. Like you and them might have different rhythms through life and have different styles of living and cohabitating. So when you are together, there could be times where you're like, or like a snake, like the caduceus, like kind of like going apart, coming together, going apart, coming together. And that rhythm will be something you guys get used to, but at first can be kind of dismantling and make you question things. So when you come together, we have the White Light Oracle giving the general vibe of when you come together. And we have number 12, Perfume of Sophia, a very magnetic energy, very much like meant to be, star-crossed lovers, feeling like magic in the world is in the palms of your hands. There's something mystical and otherworldly, again, about both of you. And when the relationship flows, going back to the tarot, we have 3 cards of the main elements and pillars of what this relationship, kind of getting an insight of what this relationship would be like. 9 of Cups, the wish come true, fulfillment card. From the outside, people are like, how do they get everything that they want? How are they just living this life? How did they manifest each other? There's something hot, poetic, magnetic about one or both of you and about you guys coming together. The words on this card are happiness, vitality, optimism, joy, and repeats itself. Okay. We also have a blonde girl, another blonde girl. So like blonde hair, and then we have a girl with dark hair here. And I am a girl with red hair, so you know. Oh, and another girl with red hair. Okay, so these could be like prominent figures in the relationship, you know. And also looking more into some of the illustrations in these cards really fast. Somebody's mother or grandmother, even their spirit, could be very much involved in the relationship and come into play in a big way, in a very positive way. And also like a woman with long dark hair, similar vibes. Like this doesn't have to be people in the relationship, but like I get the feeling that the families and even like the past lovers of each other's are like important characters in the storyline. But that there's a lot of love no matter what, and like there's no conflict really. Things will be resolved when there are conflicts or heads butting or whatever. But it's like, since you guys are so magnetic together, there's a lot of eyes on the relationship and a lot of people kind of want to be involved or are involved, if you will. So going back to the themes of this relationship, 2 of Pentacles, which, gosh, is that Mars and Capricorn? No, I don't need to do that right now. Harmony, balance, harmony, balance, harmony, balance. Okay, 2 of Pentacles is often like a balancing act that's fun. Like the traditional symbology of the card usually has a person dancing and juggling, and it's kind of like the mundane life becomes more fun. So when this person is in your life, you just feel better. You're like, yes, 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 yes. And then also the 8 of Swords. Ooh, I love this energy for some reason. There's a depth about both of you. And sometimes analysis paralysis, or not lining up, or things not moving fast enough, or not knowing how to make the next move can come up and muddle the energy of you or them. And it's important to note that this is in your head. Time is always working in your favor here. Giving things space and time and just letting things unfold is a really good way to go in this relationship, because like arguing and intense communication might just like muddy up the minds of the 2 of you. Clear communication, good. Being patient on the response, good. But at times, you know, it just requires day by day action rather than like huge concepts and like trying to grip the throat of the universe, if you will. Like just letting the universe be a part of this relationship is important, because, you know, everything is promised here. I hear the word promise pretty loudly, and this relationship is promised to you. But there are just certain things you have to learn along the way of getting into this relationship and during that will take love and romance out of the focal point, okay? So letting things grow on their own and not like rushing a garden is important if you want a big harvest. Like you're gonna have to learn to fit in to the universe's plans rather than trying to control them. And trust me, learning to do that is gonna be more satisfactory for you in the long run. So the alchemy of the coming together, like what is created internally for both of you. So we have one card for you. This is from the Alchemy deck by Kim Kranz, Neptune. between the two of you, Ash, and then Splendor, the sun's splendor. Okay, interesting, because Neptune, I like to think about this as like a metaphor for Neptune's energy. Neptune looks like water, but it's actually gas. It's a planet of spirituality, illusion, philosophy, metaphor, of getting lost, of escaping, of venturing beyond. Okay, so you are kind of psychic. You are somebody who sees beyond, and they are somebody who sees clearly. And there's a difference in that. Like, sometimes you have a big idea, a big goal, a vision. They have an idea of what things look like today in reality and how they can get to where they want to go tomorrow and then 10 years from now. They might be more rational and magnetic on the surface, whereas you have more of a deep magnetism. And once people get to know you, they're like kind of astounded because you're so intricate and interesting. You may be more poetic or more of a hidden artist, of an occult artist, where they are more on the surface, and their art and their creations are there for people to enjoy publicly. And between the two of you having Ash, well, I know that before Ash is fire and earth, so there's like a happening. You guys are creating together, and sometimes it's for the experience of it all. And Ash is a really sacred element. It's something that we use in protection magic and to honor things. So I do get the feeling that it's like this is a lifelong relationship, lifelong teacherhood, if you will, on each other's parts. Just checking the time here. And you both honor that about each other. They really like you for you, and you really like them for them. And that's why it's so hot. Like, other people on the outside are like, dang, what is that like to be in that relationship? But you know the struggle, and you know the beauty of it, and you get to enjoy all of that. Moving into some astrology signs that could give you an idea of when this relationship comes to fruition, if it hasn't already. And also, these could be significant placements in yours or their charts. So we have, from the Black Moon astrology deck, we have Saturn, return, age. So some of you, this comes later in life, and you're like, how have I been missing this? We have the Moon, soul, and Saturn, truth. So we have two Saturns. So Capricorn people could be significant here, or like you guys could share a Saturn sign, and Capricorn placements could be here. Cancer placements could be significant. My camera died, probably because I was taking too long, as all these like Saturn things would say. But also with the Moon and Saturn being around, it does make me feel like the evolution that this relationship creates on an internal and external level is pretty profound. Like, this is not a stagnant relationship. There's probably a lot of fluctuation and change. Let me just... that happens in the course of this relationship. And with all the Saturn, there could be, while there's like a lot of lessons and things like that, there's also a lot of reward. And owning a lot of land could be significant, like wanting to own properties and things like that could be kind of significant to this pile. Okay, beautiful. Women's circles could be a thing also for you or your partner. And just checking any last things, I think we're good. And to close your reading, we have a relationship sacred geometry card from the Lawn Oracle. We have card number 28 of joy. Oh, so sweet. So you guys have a lot of fun together. This relationship is just such a happy thing. It's like a storybook, honestly. So I can't wait to hear your comments and see what you have to say about this. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. What's up, pile number 5? Oh my gosh, here we are. I'm very excited to be giving you this reading. This is a deck of all different oracle cards, tarot cards, etc. that I pre-shuffled, but I haven't predetermined them. It will be my first time seeing them alongside of you. We're going to tell a little bit of a story between you and your soulmate with these cards. Oh my gosh, the card is like jumping already. And you have this really beautiful blue I can't with myself right now. I forget what it's called. We have this really beautiful blue crystal though, and it always sits by my crystal ball and like illuminates this crazy glow. And today I was like, it was calling to me. And I was only going to do 4 piles, but like then the 5th pile just was birthed and I was like, I know this is it. So you're definitely meant to be here if you're here. And this is a vast relationship. I'm getting like a lot. So maybe we just hop into the cards, because it's like this is a pretty mystical, unpredictable energy here. So we have the Wandering Star Tarot to open up. We have just one card, the 10 of Wands, burden, demands, overload. The vastness that I think I was feeling kind of has to do with the amount of manifestations you have going on in your life, the amount of responsibility, or the amount of like miracle that has occurred up until this point and that will occur through this relationship. Like, it can feel like a lot of work. When something is otherworldly and great and profound, there's everything happening behind the scenes that we don't see. And I think that you learn along the way in this relationship, especially, like, life is work too. And we need to learn how to take a break and have independence and solitude along the way. And there could be a history with this person that isn't like so pretty, you know? And I do get a feeling that, and I hate this kind of saying this, but it's like you might have had a history with this person and watched them change and come back together with them once they really have proved that they've changed, or one or both of you have gone through some pretty profound changes in your lives, and when you come together, it's like, wow, we made it. Like, I made it. And you can't even fathom the beauty that kind of is birthed between the two of you. I do get a feeling that both of you are on a self-help kind of mission, and that getting support, therapy, community is very important to this relationship. Okay, one card to represent you from the Isis Oracle. We have the Mother of Life, Nourishment of the Golden Grain Mother. You have a mission. You want to be an independent person and learn about your independence on a level of like knowing that you've got it in the bag, knowing that you're capable. I do get a feeling that you've had responsibilities through your life that stopped you from getting to pursue exactly what you wanted. And I'm already getting the vibe that this person's very acceptant and very encouraging for you. And for them, representing them, from the Earth Warriors deck, we have number 14, Clan of the Wolf Heart. We are the ones we've been waiting for. This person might be someone that you look up to in a way, and they know how to establish that community. They know how to live the life. They know how to provide you with some of the things that you might lack. And that's important for you to learn how to receive it and to embody your power, embody how much you matter. And you're going to have, I think you're kind of a mystical person where people are like, how did you do that? How'd you make it through that? How do you keep doing this? And for them, they're like more of a light, shiny figure in their community. And I think that they teach you how to lighten up, and you teach them how to explore things that they haven't learned about before. And you provide them a new respect, maybe for femininity and for culture, like different things. Like, I think that you teach each other a lot in that way. Okay. And also, like, you could be more work-oriented towards money itself. Like, you're like, I need to survive. And they have a different survival mechanism where they're a little bit more, like, confident in that just happening for them in a way. Okay? So where are these two people at in their lives right now? We're using the Moonology cards, and you are in last quarter moon in Aquarius. Reflect and on your priorities. Well, and they're in full moon in Leo. Go wild. So yeah, I'm getting like they could be like kind of a performer or someone in the public eye. They are somebody that other people look up to and love. They're kind of admired. Leo could be a thing. Sagittarius could be a thing. Last quarter moon in Aquarius. So Aquarius could be a thing. So yeah, you're like more in a Phoenix energy. Like you're like, I've come a long way and I'm ready to undertake, you know, the rest of my life with this new lease on life. And you're ready to get the gold, and they might not be as like determined like to get that bag as you are. They're more in their creative flow and their creative process, and it's kind of important for you to respect that because they have a lot to teach you as well, and they get the message when you send it, but it's like, don't send it too many times. And you teach them a lot just by being who you're being, like, and they might not always verbally let you know, but it will reflect in their creative life, like the light that you bring. And communicating your needs to this person could be kind of intimidating at times because it's like, I don't want to be demanding, you know, and they don't have to help me, but you'll learn along the way how to kind of balance that out together. Then the coming together itself, alchemy, we're using the White Light Oracle, and we have card number 11, Sacred Star. So 11, also 11th house, Aquarius. 11 is also associated, you know, if that could be associated to one of your life path numbers. And Sacred Star, Sacred Scar, it's a lot about, yeah, like healing together and learning about each other and applying it to real life circumstances. And you know, if you need a certain thing in a partner, this partner might have to learn about the setbacks and the ailments and what it's like to live with some of the scars that you live with, and how to be a good caretaker, and also how to have space and boundaries with you. And the same could go with you for them. Like, you have to learn how to have independence and not be such a caretaker. And you also have to learn how to be vulnerable in a way that doesn't cause, you know, more damage or anything to either of you. So I do feel like there's a lot of past life energy together, and there's a lot of new life, like creativity, and like the children and the family that you have together is very crucial to the development of both of your characters. So let's keep going. We have 3 cards that kind of symbolize? Oh my god, what am I thinking? That kind of, is it symbolize? I don't know, I've been in this mind space for a while. So we have 3 pillars of like the motion of this relationship. What is it like when it's in action? We have the Page of Pentacles. On the card it says talent, skill, money. Talent, skill, money. Love it. And then we have the Devil with desire, obsession, fear, and shadow. And then we have the Emperor with law and order on the card. Weird. I wouldn't have put those, but okay. All 3 of these cards have a get it and go type of energy, like fight to get what you want, work hard, get to the top. Both of you are very likely to be people that really don't take no for an answer when it comes to manifesting what you want to manifest. You're persistent in life. There could be like a little bit of addictive tendencies in this relationship, and staying on the path of health and wellness and not falling, you know, into the victimhood of your own mind is important. Like, staying on top is important for you guys, because if you fall into depression, your coping skills might not be very trustworthy at times. So you have to kind of help keep each other on track and inspire one another to stay in a healthy routine. The Devil is ruled by Capricorn, and I like to always give this story behind the Devil in the tarot. Like, a goat wants to get to the top, right? Like, it's always at the highest point of the mountain. And when it looks to the top, it sees the entire climb. And the Devil card, when it comes up, lets you know what you're doing at the bottom, lollygagging around, that's stopping you from traversing this mountain. What is holding you back? How are you personally enshackling yourself to not getting to where you need to go on a spiritual or physical level? The Devil unveils the poor spending habits, the beliefs about the self that hold us back, the addiction, the toxic relationship, the aspect of ourselves that keeps repeating these patterns that won't let us evolve. Capricorn ruling this card is associated to Saturn, and Saturn will evolve at any cost. It does not care about emotion. It wants to go forward. So in this relationship, there could be times if you get too far off your path, or they do, the relationship will not be able to continue on. It is a evolve or or they only evolve, you know? So if one or both of you stop, you'll have to keep going without the other. And then you might catch up to speed. Or there could be distant times in the relationship where it's like, oh, we're not doing so well, and then what? Or we're not staying on track, and then what? Problems in the relationship arise. It has the potential to last a very long time, and there's likely this, you guys are going to own things together and see things together and grow in like profound ways together. And it's also likely that both of you are leaders of some sort in your community. So you could like start a community, you could be managers, like there's something about leading people. And both of you inspire each other to stay on the right path of leadership because you both have strong leadership energy. And this soulmate of yours, I think a lot of you already know who they are. And you know, people have a ton of soulmates. Like, I didn't want to like make this reading like this is the one for you. So I do get the feeling that, you know, if you're in this pile, like maybe you also look at some of the other piles too. If you're like, I know who this is and it's not it, go check in with another soulmate. But for others, this hasn't occurred yet and you don't know them yet. And I think there's just a forewarning of get stuff together and be mindful, because the amount of power and intensity and capability this relationship has demands you operating in your most realistic and authentic character. Like, you can't be doing dumb stuff and expect this relationship to work. Like, both of you are inspiring each other and must reflect the respect you hold for each other. And if you know who this person is but you're not yet together, it's like, just be patient and know that there's so much potential here, but it's not a matter of like codependency and waiting on them. Like, there's so much other opportunity, but that if it does come around, we're gonna keep going. Okay, I wanted to give a quick disclaimer there. And then, you know, for others of you, this is or isn't in your life and it's working great and you're aware of the kind of potentials of what I'm talking about, and you've moved past them and you're just breezing through the lessons and you're gonna buy a big property or buy a store or do something great together and it's going really cool and you're just like thriving. And I also think one of you could be a performer. Like, both of you could have some sort of public entity vibe about you. Okay, let's keep going. This is the alchemy of you guys coming together from the Kim Kranz alchemy deck. So you have iron. So Mars placements could be prominent in you, or Aries energy. The androgen between the two of you, and for them, dissolution. Okay, they're willing to evaporate. Like, they could be kind of a psychedelic mind where when things aren't working, they are not afraid to leave it behind. They are willing to stay in the freshness of life. They don't want to get stagnant. They want to keep going, and things need to be colorful and vibrant for them to be involved in the first place. And that's just something that might kind of clash with you, because you have respect, loyalty, survive, endure, thrive, like golden energy, where they have more like this like blue pink energy. You're more intense. So sometimes you could take their lackadaisical, or you could take their chillness as kind of like a lackadaisical, doesn't care vibe, but they actually do, and they're just very authentic in their process. Whereas sometimes you could get very intense for them and they're like, holy crap, you know? But in its normal operation, I think that these cards kind of symbolize when they come together in the androgynous energy is outside of script. There's something very creative and profound about the energy between the two of you. And, you know, androgynous is like not male, not female. That is like some outdated role that we're handed. It's more about finding the best way to be authentic and be ourselves and to thrive. And there's a lot of creativity in that, of finding out who you really are. So both of you are interested in expanding beyond the everyday mindset that you have, and both of you have the capability of doing so. And that's where you really align, is this like respect for that kind of energy. And with the androgen card here, it's kind of like you might take on some of the more like traditional masculine roles, and they could take on some of the more traditional feminine roles. Like, they don't need to be what you expect them to be, and you are not what they expect their partner to be. It's like, it's about finding like who does what best, and like delegating responsibly, especially with the Emperor there, and knowing the strong suits of each other, and then working together, but also leaving a lot of space for creativity. Like, let's say they're better with saving money and you're better with decorating. Like, in a relationship, you kind of have to learn how to make those things work, and it might not always be a 50-50 split in certain areas, and in other areas it is. So that's an important, cool piece of your relationship, is there's kind of some unpredictability in who's doing what, and that creates some really cool dynamics and experiences for the two of you. Then moving into your astrology, so these could be specific to the time where this relationship takes form. Like, let's say, okay, I already see, we have Pisces. So Pisces season could be significant to when this relationship forms, but these could also be significant to one or both of your charts. So we have Pisces placements, North Node, life's purpose, and we have lunar eclipse of change. You guys are going to see so many different cycles of each other. Like, you really, really believe in each other, and like that basic magnetic frequency that exists between the two of you and the respect you have for each other's character propels you forward together. Like, you want to see each other win ultimately, and that allows you to make changes in yourself so that you can be a part of the collaboration of this relationship. And it inspires you to make healthy choices. It inspires them to do the same. Like, it might not always seem like you guys are making sacrifices for each other, but you really are. And it brings you to new heights. This relationship allows you to do things you wouldn't do otherwise if it weren't for this other person, and what experiences and emotional growth they bring you, and the confidence also that happens between the two of you too. Like, you're more likely to try to build something big in the world if you have this person by your side. And there's a lot of blessing in that area as well. If you decide to undertake a project, there's a lot of success there for you, but there's a lot of lessons on the other hand too, of like, okay, well, when you have a big responsibility, you know, this is going to have to work for both of you. Like, the reality is also there. And to close out your reading, I have a sacred geometry card from the Lan Oracle, and it's card number 5, the 5th chakra. The energy of the throat chakra supports our ability to communicate clearly and truthfully. Again, one of you or both of you could be like singers. There could be like artistry here. And communicating clearly and having a lot of like friendship time is super important for this. Like, if you guys aren't in a place where you can be friends, that's not a good sign. Like, being able to just like hang out and chill and talk is super good for the relationship, like very therapeutic. Visiting like bodies of water is important. Doing cleanses together, like, this is always inspiring you to like purify the self and the mind, this relationship. And when you take those opportunities, there's always a lot of rich rewards here. So the more you guys choose to do your internal work and respect how, you know, each other operate, even if it's not reflective of how the other would do things, always provides a lot of results in this relationship, and can take the connection to a deeper level. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. I can't wait to see what you have to say in the comments, and until next time, I'll see ya. Bye!